Hidden dangers of the paranormal. With such shows as Most Haunted, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Kindred Spirits, Haunted Towns, Medium, Supernatural, Stranger Things, My Haunted House, Evil Things, The Haunted, My Ghost Story and many others, this has added to the collection and plethora of primetime paranormal-themed television programs that has caused a frenzy of interest in the paranormal for the wrong reasons, I am afraid. These programs add fuel to the already raging fire that hypes others to seek out their own paranormal experience and attempt to facilitate having a paranormal experience. Many of those seeking a paranormal experience are very inexperienced and have no idea what they are in search of, and the number of inexperienced individuals attempting to acquire a paranormal experience is increasing more with each day that goes by. There is a growing fascination with the paranormal, especially among young teens and adults that are simply looking for that quick thrill and adrenaline rush from the fear of the unknown. This, unfortunately, adds to the already growing mountain of criticism in view of the paranormal field. The paranormal field faces great scrutiny and criticism and is constantly being bombarded with questions, and those that are within the paranormal field face harsh backlash for everything they do. All too often the potential dangers of being in the paranormal or having an encounter with something that you don't understand, or the potential of how it affects you, are not readily talked about or explained. The real dangers that exist within the paranormal for so many remain hidden, and thus there is this general lack of knowledge of what these individuals are setting themselves up for, what could possibly happen, and how to handle whatever it is that they may experience without there being real damaging effects from it. Within the paranormal world there are many experienced groups and individuals that these others can seek out that would be there to answer their questions, as well as be there to facilitate and advocate the potential dangers that individuals may encounter at both the euphoric moment and in the long duration of being involved with the unknown world that is the paranormal. Yet there are still others that turn a blind eye and turn their heads and deny that there are any dangers involved at all with the paranormal. I speak from experience when I say there are dangers, and very real ones, that can change you and stay with you for a very long time, and that will not only affect you but that will affect those close to you or that is associated with you as well, especially if they are vulnerable or sensitive already. I am going to try to touch on some things here because I think it needs to be touched on, and I hope that it will help someone to understand that anything to do with the paranormal is not something to be taken lightly. I am by no means advocating that anyone should not be involved in the paranormal. I just want to ensure that if someone does decide to become involved, that they understand the consequences and potential dangers, so they can make a conscious, informed decision on what they choose to do and how they choose to do it. I don't want to see anyone make a hasty decision to just jump into the paranormal by straight away going out to investigate or start to use devices and equipment that they are not sure of or prepared for what may happen with them once they use them, so that they are better informed and better prepared for whatever may occur. You can find on many websites or group pages what many refer to as common sense dangers. Those common sense dangers often go overlooked and skimmed over and not taken as being something they should worry about, and I know, speaking from a personal perspective, I myself am guilty of overlooking some of the most common dangers that exist because I have been in and around the paranormal for so long now that I don't always stop and think about what may be there that I may encounter, or what I may end up feeling or dealing with after I leave wherever I am or stop whatever it is that I am doing. Often, the dangers that exist, especially the psychological effects, and becoming a victim of what you are investigating, don't get referenced or talked about at all until after the fact. What we must remember is that we are not dealing with something that is known and can be predicted to act or react in a specific manner. We are dealing with an unknown factor in that we have no idea what it is that we are encountering, and we have no idea how or what may occur because each experience, investigation, and encounter is different, and the circumstances and situations are different. I am quite sure that you have heard it said repeatedly to always prepare yourself for any involvement with the paranormal, both physically and psychologically, but for many, they have no idea how to do that or what they need to do to try to be prepared for any situation that may occur. First and foremost, if I were to tell anyone anything, it would be to physically assess the situation with someone else prior to going on an actual investigation, and by that, I mean, to take the time to go to the place you will be investigating during the day when it is well visible and safe for you to walk around. Be sure to survey and take note of the entire place, including the grounds and any outbuildings or areas around the investigation site. Be sure to note anything that could potentially be dangerous for you or any other member of the team or group that may be coming to investigate with you. Be sure to note anything and everything about the location, because even the smallest detail can be important when the night rolls around and you do not have the same view of the place you are doing the investigation. Please remember to take notice of the specific area you are in and are going to investigate, because that can have an impact on you and anyone else that will be investigating with you. Take notice of what may affect your night investigation, such as high traffic, trains, or potential foot traffic, because those noises, lights, and shadows can play a key role in your investigation. The slightest change in the weather can affect you, the location, and the outcome of what could occur. Make sure that you don't overlook anything, especially the debris, surfaces, equipment, stairs, hallways, condition of the property, and any other area or thing that may pose a risk to anyone, especially if there is a great deal of clutter or debris that could cause someone to trip, fall, or stumble. Don't forget to document any loose or weak flooring, stairs, or sharp obstacles or areas that are extremely hazardous to maneuver around in. Make sure that on the day that you are to do your investigation that you arrive at the location early enough to place markers in the areas of greatest concern, or that you speak to those that are involved with the investigation to alert them of your preliminary survey of the investigation venue. Be sure that no one goes into the investigation site without first touring it and becoming familiar with the area and is aware of any potential danger areas and understands to proceed with caution in the predetermined danger areas. Know what the environmental conditions will be during the time of your actual investigation, especially what the weather conditions outside may be, in case you have to be outside during your investigation. Make sure you have done your research and that you have located the emergency phone numbers for the local law enforcement and fire departments in case you were to need them. You may want to ensure that you know where a hospital or trauma center is in case something should happen, and ensure that someone knows how to get to that location should something occur where you would need to go to that facility. Ensure that someone who is there with you, or you yourself, have a cell phone with you in case of an emergency. If you or anyone with you have any sort of medical condition that someone would need to know about should something happen during the investigation, please be sure to have that information available if someone should need to know it. Don't forget to have anything with you that you may need to take in case of an emergency, such as asthmatic medications, allergic reaction medications, or first aid kits, and above all else make sure that you bring with you plenty of batteries and lighting, such as lanterns or flashlights, and more than anything else you do, make sure you are dressed for whatever hazards may exist and whatever conditions the location may be in that you are going to investigate. When possible, please research and gather in detail through whatever resources are available to you, such as old newspapers, historical societies, occupant, owner or witness interview, or talk to others that have been to the location on their own investigation, and ensure that you have as much documented research as possible to help you to better understand the potential hidden unknown dangers that may exist. Remember to consider the following and ensure that you are aware of all your research and understanding just how the following can factor into your investigation and the potential dangers that can exist from the following. Has anyone become physically ill or felt distressed, or has their demeanor and character changed while being at the location you are investigating? Does anyone have any illnesses that live or work or who have been involved in the investigation? Has anyone been physically attacked, pushed, or had any other unexplained phenomena happen to them? Is there a history of people acting out irrationally, having sudden mood changes, or reacting differently than you know them to? During your research, did you find anything out that could give you insight into what it is that may be causing the phenomena that have been reported to have occurred here at the location you are investigating? The more information you know, the more it will prepare you and others in your group with what they may experience physically and psychologically. This may also mentally prepare you for any increased physical dangers as well, such as where people have experienced dizziness, or feeling faint, or where they have had physical encounters that they cannot give a rational explanation for. If you believe in taking protection with you based on your own faith and beliefs, then I would tell you to make sure you do so. Take whatever protective icons with you that best represent your faith or what you have a strong belief in. For some, it will be a piece of jewelry, a gemstone, a crystal, a crucifix, a medallion, or whatever it is that you believe will protect you from what you may feel is negative and can harm you. Remember that those spirits and entities that encompass the unknown realm of the paranormal do not have to resort to physical encounters with you to inflict pain or do you harm, as they can just as easily manipulate your mind and can, and in some instances, do harm you emotionally, mentally and psychologically. All too often, people don't even consider this hidden danger that exists within the paranormal. It goes without saying that this may be one of the biggest dangers that exist within the paranormal. So, conduct whatever prayer, chant, ritual, or other necessary reassurance that will allow you to ensure that your psychological state is as strong as it can be before doing your investigation. Say your own prayer or whatever you need to for yourself, and be sure to remain respectful and speak to those unknown spirits and entities with the same mutual understanding and respect that you would want to be spoken to, and treat them in the same manner you would want to be treated. Remember that you are going to a place that they have inhabited for a very long time, and you may find that you want to ask permission of them to be in their space and let them know that you are not there to do any harm and that you only wish to speak to them, let them have their say and tell their story, and that you are only giving them a means to do that. You may even want to explain what it is that you are doing and what the equipment is that you are using, so that they understand that they have been given tools to use and so that they can be documented and recognized. You may find that you are on a much better footing with them than you thought possible by being respectful and explaining what you are doing and why you are doing something a certain way. During investigations, things can change at any given moment. Dealing with the unknown, everything and anything can happen at any given moment, so please make sure that you go in groups when it is possible and never go alone into a specific area that you know has documented activity, because should something happen you need to have someone there in case you find yourself in harm's way or in need of assistance. Always be mentally aware of the area you are in and remember to consciously know where the exits are and how to get back to the central command station that you have set up. If you and your team have one, utilize your warning or code for issues or trouble. If there is a potential unexplained or explainable danger, it is imperative that you have a way to communicate that to the others that are there with you on the investigation, and one of the best ways to do just that is to use two-way radios, walkie-talkies, whistles, air horns, or in some cases even your own cell phone will work. Never stay in a place where you truly feel unsafe. Remove yourself from the area, or if you must from the investigation site, and be sure you let the others with you know of the area and the reason you feel so unsafe. Trust in your gut feeling or intuition and respect yourself and the unknown, because should you overstep your boundaries and agitate or provoke the unknown spirits and entities, you can potentially bring harm to yourself and those there with you on the investigation, or to those that must live at the location or work at the location or that must visit the location. For the most part, harmful physical attacks are rare, but nonetheless they do happen. Sometimes it can be a simple push or the pulling of your hair, but that alone can lead to something much more hazardous for you. A simple push can seem harmless enough, but what if that push were to happen while you were standing at the top of a staircase, or while you were overlooking an area that was a floor or more below you? Remember that you may not be the only one that is experiencing this, and you may find that others are experiencing what you are. Remember that there can be nature causes for some things you may feel while on an investigation, such as if you begin to feel lightheadedness or feel a headache become more intense, you may want to leave the area, because you never know when it could be something like a gas leak or carbon monoxide buildup, or a gas leak or high EMF field, or it could be those unknown beings. But it is best to err on the side of caution and leave the area until you can thoroughly ensure that it is not a chemical spill or gas leak or some other natural phenomena that have caused these feelings and symptoms. Hidden dangers do exist within the paranormal, especially since you are dealing with unknown realms, and you may find that you or someone you know can become a victim to what it was that you set out to document. Be sure to take the time to factor in the unknown elements when you conduct any sort of investigation, and remember that you are dealing with the unknown, and with that comes the unknown hidden element that you must be mindful of and as prepared for as you can be.